welcome from Mellanox Technologies, President and CEO, Eyal Waldman.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The Israeli ambassador will arrive soon, will honor us in his gracious presence here. And I want to thank everybody that attend here for taking out your valuable time in joining us here tonight. It was a long trip coming from Israel to be here with you. As an Israeli company, we continue to increase the collaboration between our two countries, Israel and India. Our technology is being used in the Indian Defense Organization, DRDO, the finance sector, including the Indian Stock Exchange, and by the Department of Space Programs. We are proud to be part of the significant improvement in weather forecasting for the monsoons achieved by the MCES. And we continue to enable more and more data centers within India. The data center is the lifeblood of business operations and a competitive differentiation. The needs of today's data center are truly unbelievable. At Mellanox, we are focused on accomplishing the unbelievable every day. Tonight, we will be discussing the many unbelievable innovations Mellanox is delivering to make all of this possible. We will look at advancements made for hyperscale and cloud environments, the big data and analytics, and silicon photonics. We will also be highlighting two of our disruptive products that will be proved to be a disruptive force within the market. But first, let's look at some of the unbelievable demands being put on the data center. Trust me, a data storm is coming. The data demands of Web 2 and cloud infrastructures are climbing exponentially. We need to address the growing flood of data and the need to better analyze this data to enable businesses to provide and to gain competitive advantage. Looks like we're getting a break in the weather. For the hyperscale storm, we need hyperscale solutions. Mellanox sell hundreds of thousands of 10 gigabit per second and above Ethernet NICs from the ConnectX family every quarter. Mellanox is the leading supplier of Ethernet adapters at 25, 40, 50, and 100 gigabit per second with over 90% of the market share. These adapters allow Web 2.0, cloud, hyper-converged infrastructures, and large and small data centers to scale in the most efficient way, serving more users at a lower cost. Let's bring up someone who knows all about these platforms. But first, here's a peek at how Mellanox Ethernet solutions can make a difference.
Mellanox Ethernet solutions can reduce your data center expenses by 50% and save you a lot of space. What you do with the extra space is up to you. Mellanox.
Please welcome A.S. Rajgopal, CEO of NextGen Data Centers.
Hi, Raj. Here, take this. You may need it.
Yes, I do.
Thank you for coming and joining us here tonight.
Yeah,
Great having you with us.
We normally do budgeting. At the beginning of the year, I didn't budget for a QC business. So
We'll help you with that. So Raj, tell us what's happening with the new Web 2.0 cloud and hyperconverged infrastructure?
Sure. In India, actually, there are two
Probably
types
wanna
of
put the mic
companies.
closer,
Some companies which are born in the internet, and all the other companies are trying to get into the internet. So there is only internet everywhere in India. What we see is that those who are born in the internet, are typically scaling. Some of our customers have scaled more than triple digits. They've done 140, 150% growth. So there's tremendous amount of growth on internet-enabled companies in India. We adopted hyperscale architecture about 3 years back, and we did one more decision along with that. That was we shifted to all flash.
Okay.
So we don't have hard disks. We have currently about 12 petabytes of flash with us.
Which give you an advantage from the storage perspective.
Yeah, so it becomes ridiculously fast, and it is so low in terms of power consumption and n number of advantages. So we did these two decisions about 3 years back, and that's what made us grow phenomenally fast. Along with the way the businesses are expecting, we are able to meet that demand.
And what are the additional key technologies that enable these platforms to grow and to scale?
So since storage is one of the key elements of the hyperconverged infrastructure, we no longer do fiber channel. We don't have centralized storage. Since we have hyperconverged storage and customers' data is getting replicated across multiple servers, we end up needing a very good network throughput. One of the things that we did recently was we invested in a 100 gig network from Mellanox. That today we're deploying it for running our Hadoop clusters. But the whole thought process was not just about the bandwidth, but it is about no packet loss and low latencies and stuff like that. So I think we have seen a lot of difference in the compute and the storage side. Now it's time for the network.
Okay. Thank you very much, Raj. Thank you for coming and joining us tonight. You can take it down. Thank you. So, do you ever get nostalgic for the days of choppy videos that freeze at the worst possible moment? I didn't think so. So now watch this. Much better. With faster network, to get this kind of quality, what you need is unbelievable performance. Our ConnectX-4 Ethernet adapters enable data centers to move data at 25 gigabit, which is the new 10, 50 gigabit, which is the new 40, and even 100 gigabit per second. There are smart adapters using technology like RDMA, cloud, and virtualization offloads, and NFV. New multi-host technology will enable next-generation data center designs. Facebook demonstrated this multi-host technology with their Yosemite platform earlier this year. It allows companies to reduce networking expenses by 45% while increasing performance and system flexibility. And now, we here at Mellanox are thrilled to present our new adapter. One moment, I have it here, somewhere. This is the ConnectX-4LX. It has the same connectors, same infrastructure as 10 gigabit per second technology, but has 2.5x performance. This allows you to migrate to higher performance technology without overhauling your infrastructure. Just imagine what unbelievable innovations will be possible when you can simply replace all of your 10 gigabit per second adapters with 25 gigabit per second. This device supports 10, 25, 40, and 50 gigabit per second. And what's more important, it's the same software that has run on top of ConnectX-4 and ConnectX-3 for the past few years. In the near future, we will release the new generation of Ethernet adapters, ConnectX-5. So let's talk about what we can do with this massive storm of data. Today, we have an unprecedented opportunity to perform unbelievable analytics and even see into the future, to make better decisions today. We're allowing systems to perform image recognition, identify fraud in real time, and prevent identity theft and crime. PayPal has been using us to handle fraud detection. They can analyze more than 14 million financial transactions per day, and around 4 billion database records are real-time fraud detection. Our solutions also enable many government agencies to improve homeland security by analyzing greater amount of information in real time. We even enable companies and organizations to effectively build the emerging artificial intelligence platform.
Excellent presentation, Eyal.
Danayavad.
No, thank you, Eyal. It's unbelievable what Mellanox is enabling people to do.
I couldn't agree with you more. Now that's real intelligence. Here with more on the development of artificial intelligence is Brian Catazanro from Baidu. Hello, Brian.
Hello, Eyal. I'm glad to be here. So I want to tell you today about how Mellanox interconnects are really helping us solve difficult AI problems. One of the most exciting things in artificial intelligence right now is deep learning. And deep learning is basically just building really large, deep neural networks to solve difficult AI tasks. The thing that makes deep learning so special is that it scales better than any other AI technology that we've seen in the past, meaning that as we increase our data set size, we get much more accurate results. And this allows us to solve new problems that just a few years back we thought were impossible. The difficulty with deep learning is actually in training the models. In order to train one of our models, we need an enormous amount of computation, actually on the order of 20 exaflops in order to train one of our models. And so the latency at which we can train the models becomes one of the primary constraints for making progress in artificial intelligence. So our researchers, they have an idea about a data set. They want to get a better result. They need to train that model, and they have to wait until it's trained to know whether that idea worked. And because training these models are so computationally intensive, we need to scale the training process. That's where Mellanox interconnects come in. Because they're so scalable, we can actually reduce the time it takes to train one of our models and then iterate much more quickly on the process of taking an idea all the way to a trained model and solving difficult AI problems. At Baidu, we're really excited about the next generation of interconnects because they're going to allow us to scale our models even farther and solve even harder problems. Thanks.
Excellent use, Brian. Thank you. Doing all of this requires super fast access to storage. To store the growing quantity of data, retrieve it, and analyze it in real time. Faster access to your data is a big deal. And no one understands that more than our next guest.
Please welcome, from Red Gelliss, Chief Technology Officer, Indivar Nair.
Hi, Indivar. Thank you for coming. I heard you nearly couldn't make it.
Yeah.
You missed a flight or something.
Right, I missed my flight.
Thank you for coming at the last minute. So, as the need to store and retrieve data grows, we're seeing newer and better storage platforms. Right. Fast storage is an important part of the cost reduction activities. So how can the interconnect enable the next generation of these platforms?
In our case...
Can you put the mic close?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. See, in our case, it's like he said, the Baidu guy said before, in our case too, it was latency that was a problem, okay? We play, in VFX what happens, we work on images. And with images, we have to play them, we have to play 24 images in a second. And sizes have grown in the last few years. You know, earlier, it used to be just 6 MB per image. Now it's gone to, in our case, it's gone to around 20 MB. And very soon we are looking at it to go up to even 60 MB. So that's one image, and we have to play such 24 images in a second. That's how a movie is played. So for us, latency was a very important thing, and that's where...
So today you're using us at 40 gigabit per second. Are you looking forward to going to 100 or?
No, we
what?
jumped from 10 to 100
So
directly.
you're today using us 100 gigabit per second.
Yes, yes.
You know, we expect to have 200 gigabit per second in
That would be
2017,
great.
and it may
See,
be even 400.
the whole industry is moving. Like today we have 4K movies, etc. It's going to go even higher in the near future. And then the frames per second is also going to go up from 24 frames per second to 60 frames per second.
Yep.
So that's like,
So you'll need more and more bandwidth.
yes,
in
even
order
the
to be
size
able-
of, since the size of images go up, like when it goes to around 60 MB and 60 frames per second, you need a lot of bandwidth and very low latency.
Okay. And what's good news about this is when you're using our 100 gigabit per second technologies, the 200 gigabit per second will be completely compatible. So you will need to do very few changes to migrate from 10 gigabit to 100 and then to 200 gigabit per second. With
That would be great.
Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us. I hope you have better luck with your flights next time. So to move data in 100 gigabit per second, and very soon, like we said, next year, 200 gigabit per second and 400 gigabit per second, and in the future, even 1 terabit per second, Mellanox is developing such technologies as silicon photonics. We are already running 100 gigabit per second silicon photonics over distances of 2 kilometers. And we are in production ahead of the competition. This technology opens up new use cases and environments and gives us the ability to help customers reimagine what's possible. Mellanox is enabling innovators to build unbelievable applications of the future. Applications that will change the way businesses compete and customers live. Microsoft's Azure cloud-based storage has tremendous requirements. They need to support a growing number of users and move data at even faster speeds. Mellanox is enabling Microsoft Azure to do the unbelievable, 40 gigabit per second throughput at 0 CPU utilization. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I saved the best for last. We've talked about the data center, the adapters, and the infrastructure. But in order for all of that to perform the unbelievable, we need an unbelievable switch. Today, data centers are forced into proprietary closed solutions. But the network of the future is an open one, open Ethernet. Businesses can independently select the hardware and the software combinations that best meet their needs. The world is moving to open Ethernet because it enables flexibility and innovation and comes with competitive advantages. Mellanox is helping to establish the ecosystem of open Ethernet. We're investing in R&D to develop new ways that give customers open solutions and higher performance as the need increases. We're working with software partners to offer a variety of software solutions over our open Ethernet switches. We have announced a collaboration with Cumulus Networks to support their Cumulus Linux operating system on the Mellanox line of Ethernet switches. The support for the third-party network operating systems is the cornerstone of the Open Ethernet initiative and provides customers with the freedom of choice. The freedom to choose the best software and run it over the choice of the best hardware enables IT managers and application owners to maximize their data center efficiency for both large and small data centers, improve application performance, and overall return on investment. So clearly, the best choice is Open Ethernet. And the best choice in Open Ethernet is Mellanox. We're proud to present Spectrum. It delivers 25 gigabit per second, which is the new 10, 50 gigabit per second, the new 40, and 100 gigabit per second. Spectrum actually switches 6.4 terabit and 4.76 billion packets every second. The industry's leading 100 gigabit open Ethernet-based network switch. Our switches are the only ones in the market that can guarantee zero packet loss, which means a network that is transparent to the application and which means unbelievable performance. Our switches deliver unconditional port performance, the same higher performance on all ports at all times. Customers in the cloud, Web 2.0, big data, and other markets will be able to get real-time insights from their data in a way that wasn't possible before, and get the information they need to drive their businesses forward. It sounds unbelievable, but Mellanox is the only company offering end-to-end Ethernet solutions at 10 gigabit, 25 gigabit, 40 gigabit, 50 gigabit, and 100 gigabit per second adapters, switches, cables, and software. Integration and automation are essential in today's data centers. Mellanox Neo network management software simplifies the data center operations. Neo enables IT managers to effectively automate everything from bring up of a new data centers at any size to day-to-day operations. At the beginning of this year, we acquired EasyChip, a leading provider of network and multi-core processors. With the addition of EasyChip, Mellanox adds additional network processing offerings to our end-to-end intelligent interconnect solutions. Intelligent networks are the foundation of future data centers, offloading functions and algorithms from the CPU to the network. Mellanox can enable you to meet the growth demand of data-intensive applications in high-performance computing, Web 2.0, cloud, network security, data center, enterprise, telecom, database, financial services, and storage environments. Let's bring up someone who plans to utilize the network processor, our NPS solution for building smart appliances. But first, here's another way Mellanox Ethernet solutions can impact your workers' lives.
Mellanox Ethernet solutions can reduce your data center expenses by 50% and save you a lot of space. What you do with the extra space is up to you. Mellanox.
Please welcome from Nivedi Systems, Chief Executive Officer Raghuveer Krishnamurthy.
Hi, Raghuveer. Thank you for coming and being with us tonight.
Welcome. Great event going on.
Thank you very much. So let's talk about Mellanox NPS solution. What does it enable you to do?
So like what you said before, there's a data tornado already there. And most of the traditional routers have always been doing only L3 processing. That does not suffice for what is required for the future. So there's a lot of intelligent traffic engineering that is required, which has to be application aware. There's network analytics that has to be done from a security perspective. All of this requires very high-speed silicon. There's a lot of innovation of the silicon that is required, and we need to combine that with the innovation that the software has to bring in. Right. So what we are doing is we are using the innovation in the silicon from an NPS perspective, putting our network operating system innovations that are there from Nivedi, and then combining to create next generation routers, which would go ahead and help out do a lot of applications that needs to be done at the routers level.
And what level do you plan to get up to? Level 7 or
Yeah.
stop at level 4 or 5?
No, I think routers now have to operate from level 3 to level 7.
Okay.
That is required.
You know, now we switched the software programming model from firmware to C-based code on top of NPS compared to the previous network processing units.
Absolutely. And that makes a big difference because of the simple fact that realizing new solutions is that much more easier and that much more faster. And with the changes that are happening in the network architectures and more importantly, the application architectures, the need to go ahead and have feature velocity is very important. And doing that in C code makes it that much better.
Yeah, and we hope to run it on top of Linux and maybe open source.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So thank you very much for joining
Thank
us
you.
tonight. Great having you here. We are proud to enable the most efficient, highest performing, and most scalable data centers around the world. Today and in the future, we enable small and large businesses to maximize their return on investment and gain competitive advantage. Our interconnect solutions, based on InfiniBand and Ethernet standards, deliver open, flexible, backward, and future-compatible networks. Mellanox InfiniBand accelerates the fastest supercomputers in the world, and half of the HPC petascale systems listed on the top 500 list are connected with our Mellanox technology. We connect more 100 gigabit per second supercomputers than any other company on the planet, and deliver superior application performance ranging from 20% to 60% higher than proprietary interconnect. Mellanox Ethernet solutions connect world-leading cloud and Web 2 infrastructures, enabling the most cost-effective and scalable data centers. Specifically, in one cloud service provider, we have more than 1 million adapters operating simultaneously. As we move forward, the interconnect will be able to execute data algorithms on the data as it moves within the data center. The network becomes more intelligent and will enable faster data processing, faster data insights, and the ability to make smart business decisions in real time. But we don't stop here. We know that building an enterprise-ready cloud is a complex task. In order to optimize usability, scalability, performance, and cost efficiency, appropriate sizing and integration of hardware and software is required. Being a part of many of the world's leading cloud platforms has gained us a vast experience regarding how to build the most efficient cloud platform, CloudX. The CloudX platform incorporates virtualized compute scale-out storage with high bandwidth and low latency interconnect. This integration not only significantly reduces the risk of deployment, but also maximizes the return on investment and lowers the total cost of ownership. Mellanox is happy to guide and support Indian companies and organizations in building CloudX platforms, from the definition of IT needs to installation and full production of the most efficient cloud infrastructures, from A to Z. CloudX supports a variety of software options, including VMware, Microsoft Azure, and OpenStack. CloudX has been deployed worldwide by many leading organizations, delivering up to 4x higher performance at 50% less cost. I'm happy to invite a guest who can explain more about CloudX.
Please welcome, from Mellanox Technologies, Senior Vice President, Business Development, Amir Pressure.
Hey Amir, how are you doing? So Amir, tell us about what are the challenges in building clouds?
So cloud computing is the modern way to consume IT services. It doesn't matter if you are public cloud or private cloud, on-premises. It involves a lot of technologies like virtualization, software-defined everything. It sounds simple, but this is very complicated. We need to simplify it, mainly the operation model. The key challenges in building cloud is to keep the flexibility while not compromise on performance and efficiency.
So what really is CloudX?
So CloudX is a group of reference architecture which allow to build the most efficient cloud infrastructure. It's based on Mellanox's superior technology, our interconnect, the NIC, the switches, the cables, and off-the-shelf building block. Our reference architecture allow and work with leader OS like VMware, Microsoft, OpenStack, providing better efficiency and scalability.
So what are the CloudX advantages?
So the first is simplicity. We've done all the work for you, so it's much more easy. Second is efficiency, how to build a very large-scale solution with no compromise on performance and allow the maximum return on investment. And the third element is always performance and scalability. How to utilize our network, how to utilize our solution, and get the most and the best user experience on the solution. For example, when you compare the CloudX solution versus other solution running Oracle database in similar configuration, we achieve more than double the performance and much lower per transaction. So using CloudX allow you to double the ROI.
So can you give us some examples of CloudX deployments around the world?
Absolutely. There are many CloudX deployments globally. We're deploying in US, in Australia, in China, in Europe. And for example, there are a lot of different hospitalities areas, hospitals, pharmaceutical that help the world to do better treatment, better solution, national university, government around the world, and many more.
Thank you, Amir. How can we help actually Indian companies to use and utilize the CloudX platform?
So we will be delighted to support. We will be delighted to help. We're planning to bring some people here in order to support and work together with the customer in order to build the most efficient cloud deployment.
Thank you. Great having you on board with me.
Thanks.
But it's not about what we're doing. Today, here on the stage, we've shown you some amazing solutions, but what's more important is what people will be able to do with them on other stages. Mellanox technologies will allow businesses to innovate in ways we haven't yet imagined, to benefit the world. One day, Mellanox solutions will allow someone to take a different stage and accept an award for best special effects. One day, someone will take a stage to declare that we have discovered the existence of life in other planets. And more importantly, one day, someone will get up on stage and tell the world about a cure to one of the world's worst diseases. I don't know who will take those stages or how soon, but I do know the people who are making it possible today. I am proud and honored to thank my team members whose pictures you see behind me, who developed ConnectX for LX and Spectrum, giving us all the best possible platform for accomplishing the unbelievable, unbelievably fast. Thank you all for joining us here today. To our customers, we're looking forward to working with you to move things faster and get better results from your data. We are excited to see what the future holds as we continue to work together. Dahaivad, thank you.